The Atlantic Ocean does not negotiate. It does not feel pity. And in January of 1856, off the frozen coast of Maine, it decided to claim a family. On Matinicus Rock, a barren, wind-scoured tooth of granite rising brutally from the sea, 17-year-old Abbie Burgess stood by the frosted window pane. Outside, the world was vanishing into a chaotic expanse of gray foam and spray. A catastrophic gale had trapped her father on the mainland miles away, leaving the family entirely isolated. Inside the shaking stone cottage, her mother lay bedridden, fading fast without medicine, while her 3 little sisters huddled together in the corner, sobbing in the dark as the timbers groaned. Then came the true fury of the sea. Giant, black walls of freezing water crashed completely over the island, drowning the low-lying rocks. The rising tide smashed through their outer buildings, dragging their co-op and their meager winter food supplies into the swirling abyss. The girls shrieked as the ocean hammered at their stone walls, the freezing tide leaking under the door. They were completely cut off, starving, and freezing in the dark. But Abbie couldn't focus on the danger inside. Her eyes were fixed on the twin stone towers rising above the blinding spray. The storm was bringing a thick, impenetrable Atlantic fog, and out in the dark, massive passenger ships were running blind, heading straight for the razor-sharp granite ledges of the rock. If those lamps went out, hundreds of souls would die before morning, crushed against the rocks. A 17-year-old girl stepped out into the freezing fury of the Atlantic. The wind tore viciously at her heavy wool clothes, and the freezing salt spray blinded her eyes, threatening to sweep her small frame off the slippery, ice-coated rocks into the churning black below. Step by agonizing step, fighting for every inch of ground, she climbed the winding stairs of the tower. Her hands were numb and cracking open from the bitter cold, bleeding onto the stone. But with fierce, desperate determination, Abbie trimmed the charred wicks, lifted the heavy cans of oil, and struck the match. Through the blinding dark and suffocating fog, the great lights of Matinicus Rock flickered to life, piercing the gloom. For 4 agonizing weeks, the storm refused to break, hammering the rock without mercy. For 4 weeks, Abbie and her sisters survived on just 1 cup of cornmeal a day, their stomachs aching with hunger, their mother growing weaker by the hour in the damp chill. Every single night, exhausted, shivering, and starving, Abbie dragged her aching body up those winding stairs to keep the lamps burning bright. Ships passed by in the blinding fog, seeing the light pierce the haze, turning their wheels just in time to avoid disaster, never knowing that their lives were saved by a starving teenager working by candlelight. When the sea finally calmed and her father's boat appeared on the horizon, he expected to find a graveyard. Instead, he found the towers standing tall, the lamps clean, and his family alive. Abbie Burgess never asked for fame. She never received a medal. But in the quiet dark of the Maine coast, her devotion proved louder than the roaring sea. She kept the lights burning. She kept the world safe.